The time has finally come for the North Dakota State Bison to join the FBS. And if you're asking yourself, what does it look like when a team makes the move from FCS football to the next level? Well, look no further than the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. These two teams will meet in Fargo, North Dakota in week 0. And we're going to cover this game as part of our series covering every game in week 0 and week 1 here at Wager Talk TV. The Bison will be a 7.5-point favorite, and the total sits at 48.5. Let's get right into it. Jacksonville State was promoted to Conference USA 3 seasons ago. It was a rather seamless transition under then head coach Rich Rodriguez, who did a fantastic job building up this program. They went 8-4 in their first season in the Conference USA. They won a bowl game against the Ragin' Cajuns. Rich Rod had 3 9-win seasons, and he won the Conference USA Championship in 2024. And then following that season, he left for the job at West Virginia. And of course, he took half the roster with him, leaving the cupboards bare for a head coach with no experience. But Charles Kelly came in, and what did he do? He picked up right where Rich Rod left off. Another 8-4 season for the Gamecocks last year. They went to the conference championship game. It was a close game, but they were on the wrong side of a 19-15 loss to Kennesaw State. But they followed that up with another bowl win, winning 17-13 against Troy in their bowl game. But curb your enthusiasm. As much success as this Jacksonville State team has enjoyed, I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I didn't point out the fact that they ranked 126th in strength of schedule. So only 10 teams that had a weaker schedule than this Jacksonville State team last season. They are still one of the favorites to win the Conference USA this season, behind Liberty and Western Kentucky. They do bring their quarterback back. Caden Creel had over 1,000 rushing yards last year, over 1,500 passing yards. Obviously not much of a passer, but certainly a dual threat quarterback. They're also bringing back their wide receiver one, DeAndre Johnson. So this team will be in good shape to compete in the Conference USA, but a road game outside of conference, that might be a little bit tricky for a team that's used to playing, let's say, weaker teams in the FBS. We're going to talk about the North Dakota State Bison, but before we do, please allow me to tell you about some promotions we have available for this football season at Wager Talk. Let's get it started with preseason NFL. Wouldn't you know it? I swept the board with my NFL preseason picks last year. A perfect 6-0 in the preseason and a perfect 4-0 in week 1 of the regular season. So we got off to a 10-0 start with our NFL picks last year. And right now, the folks at Wager Talk are giving away the preseason 100% free with the purchase of the first month of the regular season for $179. You can grab that right now at Wager Talk. Some programming information. You might remember these fellas, Ross the Boss Benjamin and Sean Midday Money Higgs. We used to do a football show together a few years back, and we're getting the band back together. We're going to do weekly segments twice a week on Picks and Parlays YouTube channel. Stay tuned. Our first episode should air within about a week or two. And if you're looking for college football, I do have my futures package posted on my page. I've got 5 regular season win totals posted. Of course, we're coming off another winning football season. Wasn't anything to really write home about overall, but the playoffs certainly were good. We were 8-2, 80% in the college football playoffs. Just as good in the NFL playoffs. And as you can see, that's nothing new for us. You can see the last 5 years listed college football playoffs. We've done pretty well. But yeah, you can grab that at my page. Let's get back into the video and let's talk about the North Dakota State Bison finally making the move to FBS. This will be their first season in the Mountain West Conference. They were 12-0 in the regular season last year, but they lost in the playoffs to Illinois State. This is a program that won 10 championships between 2011 and 2024. And this is the kind of program that just breeds winning. If you look, head coach Matt Entz between 2019 and 2023, he moved on to Fresno State a couple years ago. And then Chris Kleiman, 2014 to 2018. Of course, he moved on to Kansas State. And another name that you're probably familiar with, Craig Bohl, a decade between 2003 and 2013. He's now retired, but he was the coach for quite some time at Wyoming. And this is also a program that produces several NFL players, the likes of Trey Lance, Carson Wentz, Christian Watson. And now Tim Polasek takes over for Matt Entz. He took over last year, and he was the coach of the year in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. I believe that's what MVFC stands for, but I'm not an FCS guy, so if I'm wrong, you can correct me. He worked as an offensive coordinator under Craig Bohl at Wyoming. He worked as an assistant with North Dakota State for about a decade prior to that. That was his coaching experience, his first time head coaching. He wins Coach of the Year, and now he takes his team into the Mountain West, and they're expected to be quite a force. There's only two or three teams that have shorter odds to win the Mountain West Conference this year. This team's regular season win total sits at 7.5. They're bringing back 8 starters. Nathan Hayes, their quarterback, was the backup last year, but he did get into a few games. He threw for 381 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. 57% completions, though. That doesn't inspire a ton of confidence. But as I said, this program just breeds winning. They're disciplined. They're usually good on both lines of scrimmage. They play hard. They're good defensively, and I would expect that to continue here in the Mountain West. And in a home game, their first FBS game, they're going to be all fired up, and I think they're going to prove to be a little bit too much to handle for a Jacksonville State team that, yeah, they do pretty well in the Conference USA, but I think this might be big boy football that's a little bit beyond them. I would expect North Dakota State to win this game by double digits, so the pick is going to be North Dakota State -7 here in week 0 in their FBS football debut. If you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you've got anything to say to me, even if it's nasty, hit me up in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.